sorry, which I call that a main trend in a stock, and then in an underlying, a monthly or weekly resistance, and patiently wait for those levels to come and place a trade that has a higher probability of success than a 50-50. So what people do, they look also at the options, whether you're an option trader or not, or just a stock investor or Forex investor or a commodity, and you do futures, and I do futures too, especially for edge intranight to my options positions. What you have to look is that we are not obliged to trade at the current price. We as traders to ponder every morning when we come by making an analysis and research, where can we trade around what support and what resistance should we trade to have a higher probability of success. And so some people use the delta, the probability in the money for their options. Some people use the bell curve, the 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation. I use the day trading zones support and resistance, obviously, which is a cross time frame, monthly, weekly, for a main trend to evaluate the main trend, and the intermediary trend, which I call the immediate trend, a 60-minute chart and a daily chart. And I always try to take trades within the main trend, so if there's higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, I try to avoid the retracement here, but use that retracement on the 60-minute chart or a daily chart to buy within an uptrend, let's say like we have had for the past few years in the market, to buy a monthly or weekly retracement. And what we'll do is, instead of watching at 6 screens, because you compete against high-frequency trading system, I do everything within a parameter of one chart, a 60-minute chart that has all the elements and the ingredients to take action. So what I'm going to share with you tonight is some pragmatic stuff that I learned over the years. It's almost 21 years that I've been a trader. I am 42. Trading is all I've done in all my life. And I'm going to show you right now, before we go to the charts and account. So we'll go here, look at charts. We'll look at real charts, not BS PowerPoint screenshots. And we are going to look at real accounts and not BS accounts. Okay? And how some things can help you in your trading and get to the next stage with higher probability of success. So when you trade support and resistance, you need to understand that I personally use 4 trade setup. But out of those 4 trade setup, there's 4 trade setup, 2 trade setup that have a high probability of success. Okay? And please guys, if you have the sound that goes on and off, let me know, because I had an issue earlier on with a webinar that I was doing. And so I have another mic prepared in case we have an issue. So what happened is the first trade setup that you have to be aware, where most traders fail and make a huge mistake, is trading from support to resistance. Most of the traders get long here and they get that right, higher bid, higher bid, higher bid, higher bid, higher bid. They come here, they make the first right thing, which is they sell their long. But now they make the crucial mistake number 1, which is they proceed to go short at their resistance. And what happened here is that you have to understand, let's say this is an ES 1800 or 1900 round number. What the market maker, the institutions do, is they have access to the level 2, level 3, and they can see the order flow of the week end. When I say the weekend is us, the retail traders. And when they see those hands on the order flow, what they do is they'll crush you. They know that you are going to put your stop loss around those resistance. They'll pass through those resistance, which will create a move above the resistance, and then they'll reach a neutral point. When they'll reach that neutral point is the moment where you see your time and sales. Instead of making higher bids, higher bids, higher bids, now the time and sale becomes flat. When something in physics becomes flat, essentially in support and resistance, it goes the other way. And that's how you have to see that you got to short when there's a cross and a recross. That's a shift of momentum of your resistance if your main trend is short and you're looking for short. My favorite trade setup is a cross, recross, and a retest, which you are going to see in an instant when we go through the 9 main markets that we trade. The cross, recross, retest. And that retest can be done with a chart formation plus a trade setup. So if the chart formation, what could be a chart formation? It could be a double top here on the retest. It could be a head and shoulder and crack. And so usually most of the time, the better chart formations on the cross-recross of the support and resistance is going to be the double top with a higher high on the second top, the head and shoulder, or look at the entire thing as a cluster high, cluster low, which brings me to the trade setup number 4. So again, trade setup number 3 has a higher probability of success of trade setup number 2, which is the cross-recross, which has a higher probability of success than just trading support to resistance. You want to wait for the cross-recross, the shift of momentum to take the opposite trade, and the lower high, the cross-recross retest lower high. Then most traders fail at this one too. And you'll see in real charts in an instance with accounts and wealth strategies that help you create weekly and monthly recurring income that I'm going to share with you, that I feel after 21 years trading and work for professionals and consult to these days with small hedge funds and prop firms in Chicago and New York, that what I believe the safest strategies to overlay with support and resistance to create consistent wealth versus being part of the 90% of the traders that lose money. So one of the problems when you trade support and resistance is the channel, and this is a killer for trader. So let's say your main trend, which is your monthlies and your weekly charts, shows down, and suddenly your 60-minute chart and your daily chart shows up. Eventually, in the cluster, high and low, towards the top of a resistance, you want to short the top of the cluster. And here's why. If you have a net buyer here, and you come here and you have a net seller, the critical mistake number 1 that most traders do on support and resistance is they anticipate the break of the channel at the low side of the cluster. And guess what? They lose here, -2 on an ES. Because most traders trading the ES use a 2-point stop, unfortunately. So they go here, -2, boom, they anticipate the break of the channel. Then there's a net buyer number 2 coming. Now, 2 points form a line. So you have an horizontal line, you have a cluster. They go back, and they form a net seller number 2. They go back here, and they say, okay, now it is the right time. I'm going to short this thing. Boom, -3. Because you have to understand that in statistics here, the statistic of a net buyer to come is 66%. If you have already out of 3 times, 2 times a net buyer coming at those levels, you have a 66% chance they are going to come again on the third touch. And on the third touch, it's always the touch that you want to write that down, because it takes years and years of knowing and doing. The third or fourth touch in any cluster is going to be the moment of truth where you want to short within the main trend. So on the third touch, I short 50% of my intended size. I wait for the cross-recross of the day trading zones for another 50% of my size. And my average cost is somewhere like this. It's much better than the sucker who short again here. And finally, usually the guy that shorts here the third time is the same guy that lost here 2 points, 2 points. And finally, let's say he makes 5 points. Well, after commission, that person has wasted a day of his life staring at the screen with no high probability of success. So those 2 trade setups that are my favorite, cross-recross, the retest lower high, is 1, combined with a chart formation double top, double or head and shoulders, vice versa for longs, and the cluster high, cluster low, short on the third or fourth touch. And this is going to help you a lot. Does that make sense, everyone? Quick yes, no. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you trade at peas in Timbuktu. It doesn't matter if you trade corn. It doesn't matter if you trade an underlying Google and Apple or an E-mini ES. It doesn't matter what you trade. Those truths are being stay true, and they'll stay true for any type of trades that you do in support and resistance. As a matter of fact, I venture here in this room that everybody use some type of a support and resistance. I mean, just curious. Can you guys tell me, just that I get a feel in the room, what is the type of the type of trader that you are? A futures trader, an options trader, a forex trader? Just curious, the type of trader that you are. Done, correct, 60-minute chart, and I'll be glad to take any questions if Thomas allows me extra time, if we have the time for extra questions. So we have options, we have futures, and options and futures. So we have a lot of future guys, option guys, we have some swing traders. I don't see a lot of Forex, which is refreshing, so at least I'm being told that I am with a group of advanced traders now, because I don't believe you have a high probability of success in the Forex market unless you are a swing trader. Okay, so now let's go to charts, and I want you to show you in real charts, real day trading zones charts. This is my, this is my one of my TOS account, and but that's not where I wanted to go right now. But we'll get back to that because I want to share some well strategies, especially the futures traders. I'm going to show you how you can control 1 ES for about $500 to $800, and I'm going to show you how you can control 2 ES with about $1,600 maximum to $1,000 by trading the out of the money SPY, and I'll show you why with the same risk as the ES, why you could lose the same amount of money, use about 10 times less capital, and make a return on investment that is 8 times to 25 times better than the ES. And I'll show you that towards the end of the presentation and share with you after 21 years what I believe are high probability successful strategies. Okay, so hopefully you stick around because that literally can change your life and change the way that you look at your trades. Okay, so let's go to the, where is it? Here. So let's go to, this is our trade navigator, guys, every day for 9 markets. We constitute, I wake up at about 5:45, and I do for 9 markets. So out of the 9 markets here, I think you see 3, 7, hold on, 5, 7, and 8. So we're missing the euro here. But pretty much what we do is most of the day we focus trading the SPY options. That's what I specialize on. I do a lot of out of the money credit spread and time decay position for Apples and Googles, and I use USO looking at crude, or I trade crude. I trade here the NQ, I looked at the NQ, don't trade really the NQ, and the YM for synergy for my SPY trade, and I use TLT or TBT there. So what we do is we constitute, here, if I open an ES chart, you are going to see the beauty of this. We are constituting every morning at 5:45 a.m. before 8 a.m. delivered to our traders an analysis and a research where pretty much we give you auto-plotting tools, but we also give you a commentary on what we think it will do. And look at the trade setup we just shared together. So assuming you have support and resistance that you trade, it's important that you do like us. You constitute an extreme buy zone. This is where I'm looking to sell. And we are doing an extreme sell zone where we want to buy with a shift of momentum with the trade setup that I show you. And then in between, I want to define with tight support and resistance with not a lot of space. I want to kind of define every day where I'm not going to trade. And if I'm going to trade in the caution zone, I want to make sure that I trade the way that I showed you. What is the main trend? So if the main trend is along, then I want to make sure I buy all the retracement at the bottom of the caution zone as a ping pong trade on the cluster high, cluster low that I just showed you. So now, if you look at the day trading zones, let's get going and see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maximum 9 lines. And Mike, I'll show you how those lines are determined. They are determined from my full pro tool that is here. And I'll give you an overview of the full pro tool of the day trading zones that we do with our traders, which is essentially work for all stocks, all futures, and all Forex pair if you have the full pro tool. But what we do is we synthesize all the knowledge of the full pro tool for our trader into a 60-minute chart here that you can use. You can also use it on a 5-minute chart and condense those 27 zones into very compact 7 and 9 zones of action that you can tell. And we use directional, see up arrow, immediate trend, blue dots for a 60% chance of a reversal, of a continuation of that reversal. And if you look very carefully between the support and the resistance, I have those segments. So if you look those segments, a lot of traders, they miss the first move and they don't know where to re-enter for the day. and we have those real time where you re-enter. Like here, you look at 1, 2, 3, 4 bars on the hourly chart this afternoon of where to re-enter the NASDAQ on the bottom, and this was pinpoint the day trading zone. So you can see this is not a screenshot to look good and be smart and look to show you a smart chart. This is a real live chart of e-signals. We have the full Pro Tool for Ninja and e-signal, and the trade navigator right there, the synthesized done for you work on those 9 markets for Ninja, TradeStation, and e-signal. So now I want to show you something. So look those trades set up how they work perfectly. You look at the ES DTZ analysis auto plotting tool for the past 2 days. Look what happened. Cross, retest. Is that the setup that I told you that I like? Quick yes, no. This is my favorite trade setup, number 3. Yeah, cross, retest higher low for the long. I am at the bottom of the sell zone, so I'm looking for a long. It's like an elastic that you stretch and release. So you do a cross, retest, and you go from the sell zone to the buy zone, and it's game over. You know, this was good for 44 points. So I used this synergy yesterday, and I was live trading in front of about 170 traders yesterday in our mastery program and workshop, options workshop, and I did 26% on the first tier of my size, 29% on the second tier on the SPY, and on the last tier, which are the runner, I did a 149% return on my money yesterday. Okay, and that was just yesterday, just on that big move up to the 30-40 area there. Okay, that is nothing to do with what happened today. Okay, so the synergy here of those trades set up, I look at them and I look at them on the futures as well. So people say, why do you use the ES? I use the ES because there's big synergy. For me, sometimes the ES is in advance of the SPY and sometimes the NASDAQ. So what I like to see all the moon align, all the stars align. I like to see the ES going up. I like to see the NASDAQ going up on the same pattern. I like to see the SPY going up and the YM going up, and now I have a full green light to go because I have synergy intra-market, which helps me to crush it on the SPY options. So you look on the SPY, same trade setup, and remember this is not a PowerPoint to look good. This is the fact. I've shown you in our members area. We have hundreds and hundreds of members on the DTC analysis, which started 6 years ago and did trading e-mini 12 years ago. Look here. See, so same pattern on the SPY. Cross, retest, all the way to the bottom of the buy zone today as a resistance. Let's go to another one, something that is not an index. Let's look, for instance, would you like to see Google intranight reaction of the earning with the zone? Quick yes, no. Would you like to see Google just tonight? How did it react? So we pull Google and look. Perfect bar. Perfect. See? From buy zone to sell zone. See? That's it. And this, and you have to understand, those waves always happen. Cross, retest, rejection. Cross, retest, rejected. Cross, retest, rejected. Boom! Earning right on the sell zone. Do you guys see that? Quick yes, no. Because these are the same numbers that I put at 8 a.m. We are not changing the numbers. You know, they are in our members area, and then maybe there's some of our members tonight or people who know me. That's it. See, those are real charts. It's beautiful. And why is that precious? It is precious because if you are an option trader in this room, you know that if you look at your probability of success or your delta, and you look this morning today and you say, oh, there is a 70% or an 84% chance, a 1.5 standard deviation chance of staying above 542, right? And you take a bet around that 542 or that 551, well, you are missing completely the point. The day trading zones are based on cross time frame, on stuff that have worked for me over the past 21 years with real money. But in addition to that, they have 6 months of data where institutions defend high and low clusters. So what do I mean by a low, high and low cluster? Look, if I do a line right there, boom, there was a net buyer here, see, and you look for cluster, net buyer, and boom, it passed, and each time it passed, this is a problem. This is a cluster. If I look at a pure chart, I wanted to help you and give you a pure chart. Like if I do a file, new, standard chart of the ES, and it's an important concept. This is a crappy chart. File, new, advanced chart, candlestick. Okay, so let's work on that, and let me share with you some stuff that can also help you and change your life in trading anything as far as mastering support and resistance, and then let's get on with the wealth strategies. So if you look at the ES and you look at a 60-minute chart or a daily chart, 60-minute chart, let's see. Okay, as far as possible, I'm going to compress that puppy. Okay, doesn't have a lot of data. This thing, it's just 341. Yeah, it's the data coming. Okay, so you want as many data as possible. And I'm going to show you, if I put a parallel line here, can we all agree that around here, the market maker, the institution, they defended these levels? Quick yes, no. Can we agree? Because if you don't see that, you have a trouble being a trader already. Okay, look, if I take a pen, net buyers, net buyers, net buyers, it keeps on supporting net buyers since February, net buyers. This is an area where institutions, not you, not me, not the small traders, this is where big traders, big block buying programs are coming in. Then here, look, you do the same. Here, 66, area on the ES has been key. So you do the same. So if you look at your charts like this, in retrospect, you had more than 3 points, by the way. Remember I told you your cluster is established after 2 points. So you had your cluster, you should have known about that cluster. Here, 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 no excuse. Here and here, right? And after it keeps on repeating and repeating. So do you see, as the more it repeats, the more it becomes a high probability short or a high probability buy each time it recrosses within the trade setup that I showed you. Is this powerful, everybody? Quick yes or no? It's a simple cluster, net buyer, net seller, clean chart. You know, you don't need anybody to, you know, even if you are not interested in the day trading zones, which is very, very powerful, nobody prevents you to do that, no? Okay? So another trick that I can share with you on support and resistance, and that'll be the last thing, is you can take the entire range from here and here and you divide by thirds. That's a trick that I learned when I was in pro trading. You divide by third, so 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And what you do is, if you look for a long, make sure you stay on the first third, so you have 66% chance of success. And if you are looking for a short, trade here on the last third. But if you are in the middle, then you are looking for trouble because you are at 50-50. And if you start trading along on the last third, well, guess what you're doing? You become the sucker who chases that move in that range. Does that make sense? These things will alone, simply, very simple, very powerful, can change your trading right there. Instead of coming every day and put your finger in your mouth and trying to decide where the wind blows as far as trend and direction. So we talk about support and resistance. The problem of support and resistance is to know, after the second ingredient, is what is the probability of going from here to the resistance versus going from here to the support. That's the trend, the main trend, the intermediary trend. That's why when I start the morning with 27 zones on the full Pro Tool here, and let me remove this chart. Here's the full Pro Tool, and we start with the full Pro Tool. We look at directions for you to constitute buy zone, sell zone, and try to take the 7 zones that makes the most sense. So we look at the immediate uptrend, up arrow, blue that, and we constitute, say, okay, from here to here, it's a buy zone. Below that, it's a sell zone. Above that, and when it's too constricted, it becomes a caution zone. I synthesize that. We spend about 2 hours every morning looking at our 9 markets, and we deliver that on a silver platter right there. For eSignal Ninja and for the 9 market, which is the most affordable stuff that we do. And the most important thing is when someone gives you a support and resistance or an auto plotting tool, it's BS anywhere, because let me show you. If you don't have someone who guides you through, like what we do in the morning, every morning, what we do, me or Jack, which is also an over 10-year trader and also does a lot of the back end for us. So if I go to the blog where we do our stuff, I go here on the blog at the top, and if it shows up. Okay, so what's happening? Oh, here's the blog. So let me look, DTZ analysis, zone and commentary. So what's very important, especially if you're like, see, every day we come, we say, look, for the ES, the 1828 is potentially key, need to all about that to be bullish, look for the cross recross. But yet, we gave yesterday, see, it's no BS, the number I gave you the 1808. I gave the 1808. That was the low yesterday. So we give that to our members, and we give once a week also, in addition to the auto plotting tool, I do a video for the week, all the markets, the 9 markets, and stuff. So now you are going to ask me why the 9 markets? Because you got to start with those 9 markets. If you are a trader that do not make consistent money, okay, or make a little bit of consistent money, or spend your life in front of a computer and losing money, you are the jack of all trade. Instead of being the jack of all trade, become the master of few. I'm telling you, all you need to make a career and have consistent money, if done properly with the correct size, are the the SPY, Apple for your credit spread, and Google for your credit spread. Where's my Google? Somewhere there. Oh, here. That's all you need. So you need those three markets. That's all you need to make a career. As a matter of fact, some of my best friends who have traded with me in hedge funds, I have one of my friends that works right now for $374 million hedge fund. All they do all day long is doing NDX, SPX, SPY, QQQs, and they sell out of the money stuff all day long. All day long, that's what they do. Yeah. I have another hedge fund, Horizon Point Wealth Management with Denis Morales, which I helped grow his assets from 20 million to 80 million. He used our stuff with Mike Dees, and he used that all day long to make his moves. He specialized on Apple a lot. Okay, so those are blueprints that help you, that cut the work in the morning to give you a direction. Look here, same on the crude. You look at the crude, which I only like today. So look at the crude. What's the trade setup for the past few days? Cross, recross, test of the top of the caution zone and reject, boom. But it's still making a higher low. See, still making a higher low. Okay. Now let's look at another one. I think we did Apple. Let's look at Apple for the past couple of weeks. Look at Apple. Apple followed the same waves. Cross, recross, retest failure, zoom, retest failure, come back to the top of the caution zone, failure, up to the sell zone. And those waves happen again and again. For Alexandra, sorry, we're going to look at the YM. If you trade the YM and look at the YM, there's no reason it doesn't follow the waves, guys. It's the wave, it's a wave thing. Cross, recross, retest, boom, to the buy zone. You know? And you had the synergy that I just showed you on the ES, Alexandra. You had the synergy of the SPY, etc., etc. So now, let's move on, because there's stuff that I want to share with you that can change your life. So now, I want you to understand that now, let's look at a Google. If tonight you know that 576 is about where you have to shoot, and 510, 523 is where you have to shoot, do you think that would have helped you better doing iron condors or doing a strangle on Google? Yes or no? If you would have known that, do you think you would have been better off than looking at your delta on the market maker move? Because a lot of people got crucified on Google again. And a lot of people get crucified on earnings. This is why I relied more on the price action and the inter synergies of time frames for many, many months full of data. Because you could have put your credit spread here and your credit spread here, and guess what? You're so much better than the options market. you know. And if you were a cowboy, look how accurate the support and resistance were. But I'm not a cowboy. 80% of my cash assets are doing out of the money, selling time decay, and 10% of my assets do directional on the SPY and futures, and 10% of all my assets are at the bank. And that's how I roll. And I have 6 broker accounts across assets and strategy, so that I diversified. So if I blow an account, which I've blown in my life, a couple of accounts, and especially futures account, then I have always 80% to 90% of my assets that are not only safe, but 90% of my assets that are growing at 6 to 10% a month with credit spread and naked position, because we have such an accurate support and resistance that it helps me increasing the average 60-70% win ratio on the credit spread to an 80 to 95% win ratio with a lot of our traders. Does that make sense, everybody? But the key is doing stuff correctly and properly. Size, strategies, different accounts, okay, and have good support and resistance. It doesn't matter how good you are in options if you don't have the right direction and the right idea of where you're supposed to do business. So now for the few guys, I want to share this with you. If I look at an option chain now, I go straight to an option chain on Thinkorswim. Let's go to a PCLN. Okay? So now I want to ask everybody, that's a squeeze. 1196 close on PCLN, and we are going to look at, let's say, it expires in 2 days. So I don't know. How many strikes can I get here? 8 strikes? 12 strikes? Okay. So you look at PCLN around the 1210, which is the last close here at the money, and you look at the options around here. Do you think that you are the smart guy when you look at an option like this and you pay almost $1 in the spread? Who makes the money here? If you buy this put at 1630 and right away you are wrong with your support and resistance, or you flip-flop because it moves a tick a couple of points. And by the way, PCLN has a tendency of going up and down 21 points here, okay, for the week here. So who is the smart person here? Who is the smart person? Who is selling to you the 1630 and buying back from you the 1440 when you start being emotional about your trade? It's the market maker. The market maker makes their money by getting the spread. Okay, so if we assume the spread here is about an 8% of your capital, you've already lost 8% being a buyer of options on wide bid and ask spread on your options. Now, look at the difference. The only thing that I go directional and I specialize on is SPY. Look at this beauty now. By the way, let's go back to PCLN and that you understand another concept on the options. Do you see the open interest and the volume, guys? Because everything that I do is with real money. You have a real money of 4 video training series on my site where you see a lot of my concept explained with real trade. You know, I don't know how to explain if I'm not looking at real stuff. So you have a volume and an open interest. Look at this, guys. The highest open interest and volume I see for the week on PCLN is 3,000 contracts. Okay? Now, look at this. Everything else is 900 contracts, 72, 62, 76, like it's crap. 83. There's no volume. Okay? And when there's no volume, that will push the bid and ask spread to be wide. Okay, so you're going to get a bid and ask wide. Now, why SPY is my favorite directional trade to replace the ES. Look at this beauty. Do you see this? Look at this. So look at those spreads here. Here it shows 6 cents, but really it's not 6 cents. At the money, it's 86. I go to the at the money like I did here, it's 3 cents. You know, and most of the day you'll see that it's 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents. Even more beautiful, look at the open interest. 113,000 contracts versus 3,000 contracts. Look at the open, the volume, huge as well. Does that make sense, guys? So the more the volume, the more you are close to the out of the money options, the current price, the tighter your bid and ask spread. And this is key. This is key, and I'm going to show you why you can trade with about $1,000. See, at the money, if you wanted to buy 1,000 shares at the money 10 contract, you would pay $666. Guess what? With $666, you control 2 years short here. Did you know that? Probably not. But all the professionals know those equivalents. You don't know. Some of you don't know. Okay? And we'll go over that because this is very profound. This is very profound how you can crush it versus using your money in minis during the day that might not be the best use of your money. I do both. I do futures, but I do futures for edge intranight. Does that make sense? So meaning what? If I am net long, net delta long on my positions, so I am net long, and suddenly the Russians are exploding Ukraine, and the market drops 100, the only way I'm going to be able to hedge that gap loss is going to be short futures. Does that make sense, everybody? This is my hedge. If I am net long in my portfolio and there's a catastrophic event, the only way I'm going to be able to hedge the intraday, since the beauty of the futures, it's open 24/7, is to hedge that gap with short futures. Does that make sense? Quick yes, no. We'll wrap it up in about 10 minutes, and I'll do Q&A. Okay? So hold on one second. I have to open the light because I'm completely in the dark in my office now. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So now let's go back to the slide. So I'm not a great guy for slides. So the concept I wanted to show you is we just proved something. It's the power of time decay. And there's something I want you to understand. We talked about bid and ask spread for the options. Now let's talk about the power of time decay. If I buy an option $1, you've got to understand that this option has 3 components. It has real value, it has time value, and it has volatility. And the problem is most of the people don't understand that when they buy a weekly option or an SPY on Monday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If you buy this option at $1 here, guys, on Monday, you got to understand that that 30 cents in time value by Friday is worth what? What is that 30 cents worth? You just bought an asset at $1, and on Friday it expires. What is that time value going to be by Friday, guys? Especially the options trader in this room should be like a no-brainer answer, right? It's going to be worth nothing. It's going to be worth 0. So essentially on Monday, I am the sucker buying and holding overnight a position that is going to be worth, if the volatility remains the same, so assuming that 50 cents worth 70 cents. So I am the sucker buying an asset that is really worth 30% less. Who made the 30% all week? All week, the time decays all week. Who's made again now? That 30% is the seller of the options. So most of the time it's institutions, it's hedge funds, and smart traders. Traders that understand that 75% to 80% of the money in the options is made being a seller, but if you want wealth, you have to be a buyer, and I create wealth by specializing in having 20%, 50%, doubles, triples on the SPY with small amount of money, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, not be the degenerated gambler that looks for that big trade and put all his money there. Because if you want to be a millionaire, a true millionaire in this business, you know, and I've been a millionaire in this business twice in my life, okay? What you have to do is to understand, it took me a long time to understand that. What I have to understand is that small amount that doubles are beautiful. Let's do an exercise. If you have a $5,000 that you dedicate completely in buying the SPY, and you are in, so what is my point of all of this? Is that from Monday to Friday, most of the winners, the people who are intraday are going to be the seller. But if you are a buyer and you day trade, I day trade in the morning between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. the SPY, in and out, and I close my positions and I don't get them intraday, you take the chance to increase your account 29%, 50%, and make some doubles. And that's the key of what I'm trying to tell you. You don't need the big trade. You don't need the big amount towards your directionals and gambling trades where you have only 50% chance. Put most of your money in selling premium. You're the smart guy that collects those weekly and monthly checks, right? But if you do the weeklies, SPY, the daily, to replace your ES trades, now think about how many times it would take you to be a millionaire. Look, 5 becomes 10, 10 becomes 20, 20 becomes 30, you know, 10, 20, 40, 80, you know, 160, 320, 640, 1,280,000. So it took you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It would take you 8 times to compound a double over your lifetime to be a millionaire out of a $5,000 account. Do you understand? Quick yes, no. This is the beauty that took me about 12 years in my trading. I'm sharing with you tonight. Freely, you know, blood and tears of stuff that really marked the truth that you don't need huge account to trade directionally where you know you have only 50% chance to take big risk on big amounts. Small amounts are beautiful. If they double and compound, all you have to do is with 80% of the rest, do those credit spread, those verticals, or those iron condors, or done properly. You have to structure properly. There's a lot of ways to defend them that you have to know how to do, and that's what we do also on the day trading zones. And this you compound slowly but surely 6-8% a month, guys. You know, with high probability. So if you blow up this thing would have gone up $10,000 anyway, and easily, and then you can always start again your $5,000 again, and eventually you are going to hit it. But the problem is if you're a degenerated gambler and you have $30,000 account, and you put everything on an option or on the future that $30,000 account, and you are going to blow 50% of your account, and when you blow 50% of your account, you need 100% return to come back where you were just initially. So it's very powerful. So let me demonstrate for the guys. Do you guys want me to explain the logic why the SPY is as powerful as the ES, but you can make so much more money, less capital, and more return on your money? This is the last slide I have for you. Would that be of any interest to you, or we call it a night? Because I am dead. It's my second webinar today. I'm exhausted. Sorry to be blunt. Okay, so a lot of people seem to be interested. So here it is. You got to take that as the truth. So write that down. Strategies as follows. You take a day trade. Okay, a day trade, in, out for the day. No more than 3 trades per day, 20 cents stop loss. That's the premise. Here's what you have to understand, take for granted. If you don't know that, then you don't understand a lot of the professional equivalence between futures and options. 2 contracts on the ES equal 10 money, 10 at the money SPY weekly options equal 1,000 shares of the SPY. So today the SPY, let's say they were around 185. The capital requirement to buy 1,000 shares of the SPY is $185,000. Most others don't have that, and even if I have that, which I have on my portfolio margin account, an interactive broker, I will certainly not trade this amount. Okay, so it's not a good use of my money. The second biggest use of my money is the equivalent is $20,000. I use $10,000 a contract on the ES. Why $10,000 a contract on the ES? Because you want to use a 1% risk on each trade, which is $100, which most of the traders use, which is 2 points. And as a matter of fact, I have a secret for you. Most of the hedge funds in this business do not use 2-point stop loss for the ES. They use 4 to 6 points. So big shocker for everybody tonight who are e-mini traders. They don't use that. They use 4 to 6 points. Sorry. So now this is one. Number 2. Now the beauty of this is if you trade 10 at the money options, which usually go for about $1 average. I just show you the options going for 88 cents or 66 cents, so it's even lower than the $1. Now you control $185,000 of material with about 1,000 or $20,000. It's not quite exact with the delta equivalent, but I want to spur your mind to think differently and understand. Now it leaves you $19,000 to sell credit spread or even trade futures. Now you trade SPY and futures. And look what happened here. You use 2-point stop loss like most traders. So your capital at risk is $200. On 10 contract here I use 20 cents. So we are risking the same. We are risking the same, yet I use 20 times less capital or 19 times less capital. But look, most of the rate of return on every day. Here it's 1% to 10%. Even if you had yesterday a great day on the ES, $1,000 divided by a $10,000 capital requirement, your rate of return, your return on investment is only 10%. Well, look here. Yesterday, there's some options that did 250% return. They double and triple. This is 20 times better than the ES. Do you understand how powerful it is, what I'm showing you? Especially if you have been only an E-mini or a futures trader. Do you understand? Because hopefully you're smelling the coffee. This can change your life. And at least for the very least, you'll always remember the French guy I told you. The crazy French trader there. And this is huge. This is huge, guys, because I can prove it to you right now. Look at the option chain. If you look at the day trading zones, so you go back to the day trading zones, it's all about support and resistance. Yeah? If you go back to the day trading zone support and resistance, because it's all about trading support and resistance, guys. When you understand that, you have everything. Okay? So if you look at the day trading zones and you look at the move on the ES, yeah, on the SPY yesterday, my cross retest was 180, 150. So let's look at the 182 calls. If you would have bought even out of the money, and then 182, 182.50 call. Okay, when we saw the cross retest of the DTZ across a synergy of the market that I show you. Now look at this. Now you look at the 182 call. Or the 180. If I cannot even do that. So the 183 call that was out of the money. And let me show. Right click, toss account, and look at the move from yesterday. This option since yesterday, so this is Wednesday, which is today, this was Tuesday, okay, so today shot. This one was at 54 cents. It went all the way to $3. That's over 600% return on your money. Is that powerful? This is versus the ES that let's say you did 20 points, $1,000 contract. I'm telling you, it's only 10% return on your money. Same risk, 19 times less capital if you have the right support and resistance. Is that powerful? Remember what I told you? You take your 5K and your job is to double this 5K 8 times over the period of your lifetime. So it could take 2 years, it could take 10 years, it could never happen, it could take 20 years to be a millionaire. And when you understand what I just told you tonight, this will change your life. Now done. I would not have changed. I would not have kept the option. I would have been out here. I told you the strategy is you get out at the end of the day because you don't want to fight against the time decay in the option. Okay, done. Hopefully helps you understanding. So again, it's all about. You're welcome. It's all about support and resistance. But overlay support and resistance on the trade navigator with the right strategy. When you understand that, guys, you understand everything. And so what we have is with Thomas. Thomas asked me to put something special for the community. It's something free, by the way. So here's what happened. You have a PDF, 50+ page PDF on master probability trading from us that you can get. It's right there. You can get it at daytradingzones.com/blog/VC. Sorry, because I did an event with eSignal. It's not eSignal, it's VC for value chart. So I'm sorry, if like Thomas, you have the link maybe, I'm not sure. But Thomas should have the link because we have a special for Thomas VC. Oh, it's my bad. Okay, and you'll get a training videos, 4 training videos for free that you'll get on your email inbox with real money. You see my accounts that explain some of the P&L of the stuff I explained tonight. You'll get a PDF and you'll be offered a 14-day trial to get the auto plotting tools, Okay, so you're not obliged to take it. It's you sign, you get your training videos for free, and you'll get your ebook, but you'll be offered a $7 trial for 14 days, which is 50 cents a day. We don't have this offer on our website to get the auto plotting tool and the members area access, and to get live Tuesday on our chart blast. We do a chart blast every Tuesday. So again, unless the server was done because HostGator had some issues today worldwide, let me see, it should be blog, it should be day trading zones /blog /VC. daytradingzones.com /blog /VC. And hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't work, it's because and you'll have to try it later on or tomorrow. Unfortunately, GoDaddy, not GoDaddy because we are not on GoDaddy, but HostGator had some worldwide downtime. Oh, it's coming. Try there because it's on and off. Ah, look, it just came. So make sure that you follow the link that Thomas gave you and jump on it right now because it's on and off with the servers from HostGator. And look, you just put your name, email, you get the videos and the PDF. And hopefully it helps. If you guys have any questions, I'd be glad if Thomas is okay to stay another 5 minutes. I know he wants to wrap it up in an hour, but I'll be glad to answer some of your questions. Okay. And again, if Thomas can put the link, it's easier to go with the link we gave you because it's too long. Daytradingzones /blog /VC. And you can see, what's his name, Thomas posted that to the entire world, okay? $97 a month, Todd, after the $7 trial, $97 a month. Guys, it's a no-brainer, think about it. If you get a credit spread that gives you $200 or $300 profit every week, you triple your investment every week, just one credit spread, one credit spread. Or a move like this on your earning place on Google. Okay. It doesn't work with TOS. What happened? It works with Ninja. It works with Ninja, TradeStation, and eSignal. But what the guys do, and look, listen, it's very smart. We have some guys that don't trade the future. So if you just want the data for the SPY, Apple, and Google, you can use your TD Ameritrade, which is TOS really, your TD Ameritrade feed into Ninja. Ninja you can download for free, so you get the entire thing for free. You download Ninja for free, you have the data feed from TD Ameritrade to get AOL, Google, Apple, and SPY. Okay? Do you trade in the money weekly to offset time decay? No, George. I trade mainly at a 50 delta, and if done correctly, I change my delta every day. Every day I have a specific strategy on how to trade my SPY. Chris, as an Australian investor, I am unable to set up brokerage account with US brokers. I do have an interactive broker TSW account. So do your signal work on IB? If not, I'll be relying on your, no. You can, Chris, get the auto plotting tool with the IB data feed, which would feed into Ninja Traders, which you can download for free. Okay? Richard has a good question. Say, hey, on your SPY strategy, what do you do if your account is too small to day trade? Are you referring to the pattern day trading rule, Richard? Are you referring to the pattern day trading rule? Okay, yeah, so that's a very question. So next Tuesday I'll do an event and I'll explain a little bit our structure to go around the pattern day trading rules. But essentially, all you have to do, Richard, you call your broker and you tell them, look, I want to open an account in cash only. You'll be able to use that cash only for the day to buy puts and calls, and you are not submitted to the pattern day trading. The only people who are submitted to the PDT rules are the margin account. So you know how you become smart. Let's say you have a $10,000 account. You use $1,000 or $2,000 for your SPY trades on the cash account, and you use $8,000 into your margin account, where you do not do a round trip, 4 round trip in a week period. You just do one spread, and you close your spread every week or every month, and then you are never going to have the pattern day trading rule. Hopefully, do you understand, Richard? I just gave it to you on a silver platter. Okay? Hopefully, everyone, it was helpful. I think I share a lot of stuff again with you guys. We are going to have some live webinars coming for free. So just, again, want the training videos that are so much more. Imagine what I share here with you in an hour. Those training videos are 4 or 5 hours, and they are free, and you have the PDF. All you have to do is go again to daytradingzones.com/blog/VC for value chart. And again, really appreciate the invitation from the folks at ValueCharts.
Thanks, Mark. We really appreciate it. That was very informative and also a great strategy from what I can see. And again, the link is daytradingzones.com/blog/VC. It doesn't work if you put capital letters, so do it without capital letters, and it should work. At least that's what it was for me when I was just testing it out here. So
and
that's
if there's a server issue, everyone just try again and again, because it's just those gators today that had issue. And again, thanks everyone for coming, and Thomas, thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you, Mark. We really appreciate it. All right, everyone, have a great evening and have a great rest of the day.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.